Okay, भाई. चलो. So in the previous session, what we have been talking about, can somebody give me a, I mean, पिछले क्लास में हमने क्या पढ़ा था? Tell me. Can someone tell me that what we have studied in the previous session? Yashi, Anshika, बोलो क्या पढ़े थे पिछले क्लास में? बोलो जल्दी बोलो. Exactly. In the previous session itself, we have studied that when it comes, I mean the punishment given by the magistrate or the section 30, not 13. 0, 30. Okay, fine. So in the previous session, we have studied that when it comes to magistrate, what is the power which he is empowered under law to give? First thing. Moreover, if he has imposed any fine, and in that particular situation, the convict, let's take for an example, fails to pay the fine, then he has to undergo some extra period of jail punishment. How that jail punishment needs to be calculated, isn't it? Moreover, what would be the nature of that particular jail punishment? This is something which we have also covered, right? This is what we have also covered, right? These are few things which we have covered. Now, what I'm saying here is that punishment, jail punishment or whatever, a capital punishment, rigorous, simple, I mean, these are lateral stage, right? I mean, these things will come for sure, but not at present. What is important here is to know, I mean, who is the person who can arrest. I mean, before getting into anything, we should actually know that who is having the power to arrest somebody, right? इसके पास कितना पावर है अरेस्ट करने का, whether police can arrest, whether a private person, let's take for an example, I am moving on the road and if I see somebody committing a crime, whether at the same time do I have the power to arrest somebody? This is something which you all need to remember. For CRPC, there are few things which we all need to remember. The first thing is types of cases that we need to understand first. The first type of case is the first type of offenses or cases you may take is bailable and non-bailable, right? The first thing which we all, and this is something which is defined in section 2, right? This is something which I'm just quoting. If you go and refer section 2 itself, you will find everything. But I know you guys are very lazy, you won't go through, that's why I'm taking that pain, right? So offenses can in a way be divided into two parts. The first one is bailable. And non-bailable. Always understand that when it comes to bailable offenses, getting bail is a matter of right. Let's take for an example, I have committed one particular crime and a police has arrested me. And in the IPC or the CRPC itself, it has been mentioned to be a bailable offense. Then in that particular situation, the police has to give me the bail. If police fails to give me the bail, then I can easily approach the magistrate and he will grant me the bail. Because this is a right which I have got under the law. It is the right which we have got under the law that if I've committed any offense and that offense is described to be bailable or non-bailable. I mean, you don't have to mug up, you don't have to remember, because CRPC and IPC under Schedule 1, it has made it very clear that which offenses are bailable and which offenses are non-bailable. It has been clearly demarcated. The fact here is that, okay, bailable offense mention hai, but bailable offense का मतलब क्या है? This is what we need to know. So always remember that bailable offenses are those offenses where getting the bail is the right. Where getting the bail is the right of the accused. You have lodged an FIR against me. Let's take for an example. You have lodged an FIR against me and police has arrested, and in the CRPC or in the IPC itself, it has been mentioned that it is a bailable offense. The police doesn't have any power to keep me in the lockup. The police has to give me the bail. The police has to give me the bail because it is a right which I have got. It is a right which I have got under the law, isn't it? If the police does not give, many a times होता क्या है कि police नहीं देती है bail. क्यों नहीं देती है? For example, I have been arrested and police thinks कि अगर मुझे छोड़ दिया है, bail पे छोड़ दिया तो गांव वाले घुस के देंगे, मारेंगे, right? This is what police may think. So police, already surrenders. Okay, fine. If you want to take the bail, go and take the bail from the magistrate. This is a practical situation, right? So if you go to the magistrate does not have any other option. It's not like magistrate will think, should I give him bail or not? If he has been arrested, if he has been produced before the court or the person has himself gets himself produced before the magistrate, then he has to give him, the magistrate has to give him the bail. Whereas when it comes to non-bailable, it means that that particular offense has been characterized, that offense has been demarcated as non-bailable. That does not mean that, you won't get the bail. You will find that a person has committed murder, a person has committed offenses like heinous offenses like rape and child abuse, but still he gets the bail. And there is a new, if you guys could go and find the case, there was an IIT student, IIT Guwahati का कहाँ का बंदा था, he has got the bail. Attempt to rape का उस पे charges लगा था, but he has got the bail. And the High Court has said that he is a star in the future of the country, both the accused as well as the victim. And the judgment was being criticized. You guys can find it on the live. Now, rape is defined as a non-bailable offense. Now, the question here is that how did he get bail? When this particular offense has been described to be a non-bailable, then the question here is that how did he get the bail, isn't it? So always remember that when it comes to non-bailable offenses, getting the bail is not your right. Getting the bail is not your right. This particular right is not. I have committed rape and I have committed murder and I will go to the police. Hey, give me the bail. Police will give you a slap, right? No, police won't give you the bail. Police will rather, if police gets to know that you have committed a non-bailable offense, rather the police will arrest you, will put you behind the bar. This is what the police will do. So always remember that when it comes to bailable offense, getting bail is the right. You can go, you can approach the court, they will ask you to sign a bond or something like that, and they will give you a bail. There is no problem. उनको bail मिल जाएगा bailable offense में. When it comes to non-bailable offense, getting bail is not your right. Getting bail is not your right. Gang rape and attempt to murder or something like that and give me the bail. No, this particular right is not being given to you. Does that mean that if you have committed non-bailable offense, I will not get the bail? This is another question. That if I have committed a non-bailable offense, now the question here is that if I have committed a non-bailable offense, now the question here is that does that mean if I have committed murder, if I have committed rape, so does that mean I will not get the bail or I have to languish before the court in the jail? The answer of the same is no, it's not. Because in non-bailable offenses, giving bail or not giving bail is a totally discretion of the court. Is a totally discretion of the court. Non-bailable offenses का मतलब ये नहीं कि तुमको bail मिलेगा ही नहीं. It's not like that. ये एक offense है जिसमें तुम्हारा bail लेना, getting a bail is not your right. Is not your right. You cannot claim that, hey, see this act, IPC. It's totally not dependent upon the fact at all. It's not. If let's take for an example, I will show it to you. Don't worry. See, there is a schedule. For first schedule, which you can find at the very end of CRPC. The very schedule which you will find at the very end of the CRPC. And there only you will find the offenses has been characterized as demarcated as bailable or non-bailable. If you fall under this, you will, and it is bailable, you will get the bail. If you fall under that and it is non-bailable, you will not get the bail. You have to approach Sessions Court or High Court in order to take the bail. Right? Sessions Court will get into the facts, will determine, will evaluate the facts and circumstances, what the police is saying. A lot of things. What the police is saying, whether the investigation has been done in 60 or 90 days or not. A lot of things have been there. By the time you will be reading investigation chapter, we will get to know that there is a time limit which has been fixed by the police. Now, police has to do the investigation in 60 days. Now, police is not doing. Do you think the person will be kept in the jail? Because it is the fault of the police which is not doing. Police is supposed to do the investigation. The police is taking 1 year to do the investigation. Do you think the person has to be in the jail for 1 year? No, not at all. So there is a time limit in the investigation chapter, section 154 onwards. We will be reading that. But समझ लो कि what is a bailable offense at all? What is a non-bailable offense? Bailable offense is an offense where getting the bail is your right. Non-bailable offense non-bailable offense is an offense where getting the bail is the discretion of the court. The court will give you the bail. If the court wants, court finds in the, let's take for an example, attempt to rape. Let's take for an example, attempt to rape. Yeah, something like that. Now, there is a now, apart from bailable and non-bailable, there is another type of offense that is called cognizable and non-cognizable. Another type of offense which is called cognizable and non-cognizable. Question here is that what do we mean by cognizable offenses and what do we mean by non-cognizable offenses? यहाँ ऑनलाइन जितने हो सबको समझ आ रहा, अवेलेबल नॉन अवेलेबल? आ रहा आपको?
Yes, sir. Yes.
आप ही को आ रहा है? और बाकी वंशिका, मानस, सान्या होगा, सान्या जैसे. Okay, fine. So now the second type of offenses, which second type of cases which we can demarcate under CRPC itself is cognizable case and non-cognizable case. Now the question is that what is cognizable and what is non-cognizable? This is right. Or cognizable case is a case. Always remember that cognizable case is a case. Cognizable case is a case where the police can arrest you. Order is not even required. The case is a case where the police can initiate the investigation or even go to an extent of arresting that particular person, isn't it? Without the orders of the court. Whereas a non-cognizable case is a case where taking the permission of the magistrate is a must. If I have committed a non-cognizable case and police is coming to arrest me, then that arrest is totally and completely illegal. The arrest is totally and completely illegal because it is a non-cognizable case. If it is a police, let's take for an example, comes and arrest me, then you can file a case against the police in relation to wrongful confinement and wrongful restraint. If police, I don't have any power to arrest you. What I have done that I have put you, Let's take for an example. The question here is that do I have the power to arrest you? If I have the power, then I should have arrested you in cognizable case. If I have arrested you in non-cognizable case, then you can easily file a case against the police and get compensation because the police does not have a right over in this particular, does not have right to arrest you in this particular case. Is it clear to everybody? People who are online as well as offline? Cognizable case is a case where this particular requirement of taking permission from the court or the magistrate is not at all required. Whereas in non-cognizable case, always remember that when it comes to non-cognizable case, the permission of the court is a must. It's not like कि जाके मत पकड़ लिए. No, not at all. If you are doing so, then a case can easily be filed. A criminal case can easily be filed against you. There is no problem. Now, never be in this particular confusion that cognizable cases are serious cases and non-cognizable are non-serious cases. No, not at all. I have seen people, I've seen students thinking that cognizable case because police can arrest. So it means it is a serious offense. And non-cognizable case is a case where police cannot arrest. That means it is a non-serious case. No, not at all. Cognizable case is a case where police can arrest without permission of the court because it is mentioned in the act. It is mentioned. That is the way. That is how you need to remember. Cognizable case is a case where police can arrest without permission of the court or the magistrate, whatever you may take, just because it is mentioned in the act. No special apna dimag mat lagao. No application of mind is required. Because unlawful assembly, the punishment is 6 months, but it has been made cognizable. No, unlawful assembly, the punishment is 6 months, but it has been made to be cognizable, isn't it? Whereas bigamy or mock marriage, the punishment is something 7 to 10 years, it has been made non-cognizable. Are you guys getting the point or not? There is one offense where the punishment is 6 months, but it has been made to be cognizable. Bigamy or mock marriage, this is something which is serious, highly punished for 7-10 years, but it has been made to be non-cognizable. So why? The fact here is that in cognizable case, the intervention of police is required. If 5, 10, 20, 100 people are accumulating at one place, the chances are high that they may commit any offense. If let's take for an example, I am carrying beef in my, considering the present situation, I am carrying chicken in my car. Let's take for on my truck. People may think that it is beef, and they may kill me. They may start killing me or kicking me out. On the road itself. So if police gets to know that, okay, fine, there is a person named Raji, he's passing by that, he's going over that particular road, and there are 100 people waiting for him. The police may go and arrest them without taking the permission because they may commit if they are not being arrested. But why? I have got 2 wives. I'm married, and later on I wanted to marry again, and I have got married to another person. Do you think police intervention is required? Not at all. Why? What will police do with, seeing me with 2 wives, or I'm finding me that I have 2 wives? There is no job of police, I mean, doing any sort of investigation or inquiry to an extent in this particular case. There is not at all any requirement. So never be in this particular, never be in this particular phase की cognizable offenses बहुत serious होते हैं, non-cognizable non-serious होते हैं. Not at all. Cognizable offenses होते हैं because it is mentioned in CRPC. Non-cognizable होते हैं because it is also made in, it has been mentioned in the CRPC and stating it to be non-cognizable. So there is no application. ऐसे कहते हैं ना कि हम लोग पिछले इन्वायरमेंटल में मैंने बोला था पार्ट 3, हम लोग बोलते हैं व्हाट इज फंडामेंटल राइट. I mean, there is no definition. I mean, you may have a definition of fundamental right, but why they are called to be fundamental? For a very simple reason that they are under Part 3 of Indian Constitution. Evidence Act में अब relevancy पढ़ते हैं. What is the relevant fact? Because they are mentioned in that particular chapter. That is why they are relevant. Not at all. I mean, there is no other reason apart from that. Do you think Article 35 is very important for us? No, not at all. What an armed person will do and what army will do. Do you think will he get the leave or will not get the leave? Do you think it is anywhere related to us? Not at all. I mean, this is something related to one sector. I mean, one segment of the people. The fact here is that why it is called to be fundamental, reason being that they are mentioned under Part 3. So in this particular case, why and what are cognizable case and what are non-cognizable, always understand that just because they are mentioned in the schedule, making them to be cognizable and non-cognizable, that is why. That is why police intervention or non-intervention is required. Is it clear to everybody till here? People who are online?
Yes, sir.
Aditi, आपको समझ आया? What about the rest of, I mean, Manas, Vanshika, Dikshita, Karan Thapa?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Type of cases. The third type of cases which are mentioned in CRPC is summons case and warrant case. Right. This is a third classification which we can find under CRPC. Now the question is, what is summons and what is warrant? Always remember that this summons or this warrant is not at all related. This summons or this warrant is not at all related with the summons we get. I mean, हमें आता है ना, पुलिस हमें समन किया है या मजिस्ट्रेट हमें समन किया है या कोर्ट हमें समन किया है या कोर्ट हमें वारंट इशू किया है ना? पुलिस ने वारंट इशू कर दिया, कोर्ट ने वारंट इशू कर दिया. नॉट पुलिस बट द कोर्ट हैज इशूड द वारंट. सुनते हैं ना हम लोग, मूवी में देखे होंगे नहीं, दृश्यम में हुआ है ना. तो ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, अरे मजिस्ट्रेट ने आपको एक, I mean, you will get a letter from the court that you have been summoned, right? And I mean, if you, let's take for an example, you do not come to the court, or if, after being asked you to come, then the court will issue a warrant, right? So never get confused that this summons or warrant case is related to that summons or warrant. That summons or warrant is something different, which is also mentioned in CRPC. We will come to that. But this summons and this warrant is a totally and I mean directly not related to the summons and the warrants which we get and which we see in the movies. Not at all related. Now summons case and warrant case. What is summons and what is warrant? Summons case is a case where the punishment is being described either 2 years or less than that. Summons case is a case where the punishment which can maximum be given to any person is 2 years or less than 2 years, right? Whereas a warrant case is a case where the punishment can be more than 2 years. Unlawful assembly, जो मैंने example दिया, that is a summon case because the punishment, let's take for example, is 6 months. Theft, the punishment is 3 years. Dacoity, the punishment is more than 3 years. Rape, the punishment is life imprisonment. I mean, there are other offenses where we can find the punishment is more than 2 years. So in that particular situation, that case will be called to be a warrant case. I mean, there is a different way. Why it is called summons case and warrant case lies in the fact that there is a different way of their trial. There is a different way through which these cases are tried. I mean, tried in the court of law. That is why it is being called summons case and warrant case. There is no other reason. Always remember that summons case is a case which is where the punishment is given less than 2 years or 2 years, and warrant case is a case where the punishment is above 2 years. No, I mean, there is no other definition. And always remember that there is no link between summons case and bailable offense. If you say that, sir, summons cases are bailable or warrant cases are non-bailable, then it seems that you haven't understood CRPC at all. There is no link between summons case, warrant case, bailable case, non-bailable case. There is no link. They are all, they are all are being, divided into different chapters. There is no link. You never say that, sir, summons case are always bailable, sir, warrant case are non-bailable. Not at all. Not at all. These cases are different. Summons cases are different. Warrant cases are different. Bailable cases are different. Non-bailable are different. Right? Magistrate travel cases are different. Some sessions case, travel cases are different. So we are having a different, division. We can find that CRPC is being divided and beautifully drafted. As I have mentioned in one of the sessions, that CRPC is like a one-way tunnel. Criminal Procedure Code is like a one-way tunnel. Wow. And by the time it starts, there is no way back. CPC नहीं है कि हम कभी भी प्लेंट अपना वापस ले लिए. No, not at all. और CRPC में ट्रायल शुरू हो गया तो पनिशमेंट आएगा ही आएगा. भले मुझे आपने कुत्ता मार दिया, मैं बोला कि नहीं मारा है, ये सब कुछ नहीं. ट्रायल तो होगा ही, जजमेंट तो आएगा ही आएगा. इधर कन्विक्ट हो गया, एक्विटेड हो गया. Right? Always remember that in CRPC or in criminal law, there is no way back. By the time it starts, it has to reach to that particular destination. Without reaching the destination, it will not stop. You may linger it for years, but it will not stop. It will crawl, but it will reach to the destination at all. Unlike civil cases. So is it clear? Summons and warrant cases. Summons cases is a case where the punishment is less than 2, and warrant case is a case where the punishment is more than 2. Second point, which I have clearly mentioned, that there is no link between summons case and warrant case, bailable and non-bailable. They are totally, if you are saying that, it is totally irrelevant, because there is no connection. Summons case may be bailable, summons case may be non-bailable, warrant case may be bailable, warrant case may not be bailable. So there is nothing like that कि summons case में bailable हो, bail ही हो जाएगा, warrant case में bail नहीं होगा. Not at all. For that, and the best part of CRPC, the beauty of the CRPC, that you don't have to mug it up. You are preparing for a government job, or you want to go for an interview like anything, and some other, then you need to mug it up. But the fact here is that CRPC or the law does not expect you to cram things up, mug things up. No, it does not. Because in the schedule, in the first schedule itself, it has been mentioned. It has been mentioned that, okay, fine, these are the offences which are said to be bailable, these are the offences which are said to be non-bailable, these are the offences which are said to be magistrate travel, these are the offences which are said to be magistrate sessions court travel. Isn't it? CRPC बहुत अच्छे से बोल दिया. There is no problem at all. If you find any confusion, you can refer CRPC without any doubt, and you guys will get the answers. Is it clear? यहाँ तक समझ आया? Clear है सभी को? Online क्यों बैठे हो? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, ये खरीदो कि नहीं आप लोग? खरीदो ये बुक खरीदो. एनवायरमेंटल लॉ का खरीदा था ना आपने, अब ये भी खरीदो. And this book will help. This book will help you guys for sure. I can give in writing. This book will help you until your last breath. Because this is without criminal manual. There is no class. Criminal manual को लेके आना है. Because the fact is that whatever I'm saying, don't make notes. Act है तुम्हारे पास, उसी पे लिखो. Get the act printed, write it over there. There is no point of making notes, because it is a procedural code. Procedure समझ आ गया तो सब कुछ समझ आ गया. Procedure समझ नहीं आएगा तो कितना भी section पढ़ लो, कुछ समझ नहीं आएगा. इसलिए it is a procedure. CRPC basically deals with what? It basically deals with procedure to make sure that you have this particular code manual with yourself. It has everything. IPC, CRPC, and evidence. तीनों एक ही है. The fact is that in CRPC, when we will be reading section 164, we have to refer Indian Evidence Act as well. And for CRPC, we have to keep on referring IPC and everything, right? We have to keep on referring. So always remember that get this bare act. If you guys are not having order it, make sure that you get it. यहाँ पे लॉ की बुक्स की दुकान नहीं है क्या? खरीदो जाके कल लेके आना. तो राज ले तो नहीं आएगा. Okay, fine. Now one section which is very important, 41. I hope everybody is having the bare act. If you guys are not having, just make sure that Google से download कर लो. Section 41. Now arrest of person is a part which is being mentioned under chapter 5 of CRPC. Now the question here is that who can arrest? Now the question here is that who can arrest? Because arrest is what? Is telling the liberty that I have been given. I'm having the liberty to walk over the streets. I'm having the liberty to enjoy my time with my family. If I'm being arrested, then in that situation, that liberty, that freedom, that independence that I have got will in a way be curtailed, isn't it? So who will arrest, how the arrest will be done, what are the rights that we are going to get, everything needs to be made very clear. That is why we are having section 41. That is why we are having section 41, which says that when police may arrest without warrant. When police may arrest without warrant. Now लिखा है any police officer may without an order from a magistrate and without a warrant arrest any person who commits in the presence of police officer or cognizable offense. Now, I mean, I have mentioned one point that when it comes to cognizable case, police can arrest without warrant. This is what I have mentioned. Initially, when I have been dealing with cognizable case, I have made one point very clear that when it comes to cognizable case, police officer, police can arrest you without the warrant of the court. But in the year 2010, there was an amendment which was being brought. Added one more point. Arrest without the warrant.
Sir, you are not audible anymore.
क्या हो गया?
सर आप लैपटॉप की स्क्रीन से साइड में होते हो और आपकी आवाज आनी बंद हो जाती है.
यार मैं तो ब्लूटूथ से जुड़ा हूँ, स्क्रीन से क्या मतलब है?
पता नहीं सर, ऐसा होता है.
ओके, अभी आ रही है? अभी ठीक है बात? ओके.
यस सर, मतलब थोड़ी फेंट सी आ रही है.
जब अच्छे से है तो बताओ, अच्छे से नहीं आ रही तो मैं फिर से रिकनेक्ट करूंगा. ठीक आ रही है अभी? एवरीवन, आई मीन
नहीं आ रही सर, सही से कर लो आप.
मिहिर, आवाज आ रही है आप लोगों को अच्छे से?
सर धीरे ही आ रही है आप.
वेट यार.
Sir, it is clear now.
इट इज क्लियर? अभी क्लियर है?
हाँ सर, clear है.
Yes, sir.
ओके फाइन. क्लियर ना हो तो आप लोग बोल देना, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. आई मीन बात नहीं आएगी तो पढ़ के कोई फायदा नहीं है, पहले ही बता देना सो दैट आई कैन. ओके, so I have made one point that cognizable case is a case where police can arrest without warrant, right, and do the investigation. Now in the year 2010 there was an amendment which was brought in CRPC itself under section 41. What it says that now cognizable case will be divided into two parts. Now right, now CRPC has
Sir, you're
brought
not
an amendment.
audible.
अभी आ रही है आवाज अच्छे से?
हाँ
Yes.
सर, आ रही है. हाँ सर, आ रही है.
रुक जाओ यार, कहाँ आवाज? अभी आ रही है?
Yes, sir.
अभी आ रही है आवाज?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, थैंक्स मीर. Okay, now what I'm saying here is that cognizable case is a case where police can arrest without warrant and do the investigation. Now in the year 2010 there was an amendment which was being brought. Now what the amendment has done, it has divided cognizable cases into two parts. where the punishment is less than 7 years and where the punishment is more than 7 years, right? Now the police has, the CRPC has divided cognizable case into two parts. The first part is that where the punishment is less than 7 years, and second is the punishment is there. I mean, punishment is more than 7 years. Now, while ये समझ आ गया तो हम लोग section 41 पढ़ते हैं, because ये वाला part जो बहुत important है, ये if you guys, I mean, you guys have understood this particular part, you will understand section 41. Now, section 41, somebody please read out. Online, we read करो section 41. Aditi, read out section 41.
Yes, sir. When police may arrest without warrant, first, any police officer may without an order from a magistrate and without a warrant arrest any person A who has been concerned in any cognizable offence or against whom a reasonable complaint has been made or credible information has been received or a reasonable suspicion exists of his having been so concerned. B, who has in his possession without lawful excuse the burden of proving which excuse shall lie on such person, any implement of housebreaking, or C, who has been proclaimed as an offender either under this code or by order of the state government.
Wait,
Or-
Aditi, which section you are reading?
So I'm reading 41, but I'm reading it online, not from the where.
Okay, fine. No, don't read it because my act says differently. No, that is why
Hello?
I thought
Sir?
you were reading. No, don't read. I will just read it out. Don't worry. Thank you. Thank you. Don't read out. Section 41 says when police may arrest without warrant, and it explains any police officer may without an order from a magistrate and without a warrant arrest any person who commits in the presence of a police officer or cognizable offence. So always remember that when police officer finds that somebody is committing a cognizable offence, when police officer finds somebody committing a cognizable offence, he can arrest there only. There is no problem at all. Let's take for an example, police अपने PCR van से जा रही है. Let's take for an example, police रात में अपने PCR van से जा रही है, and he has found me tampering with a bike so that I could take the bike away with me, right? There is a possibility that police अपने PCR van से जा रही है और मैं bike के साथ कुछ कर रहा हूँ, so that I could unlock that particular bike and can take it away. So this is what theft is made to be highly cognizable under CRPC under section 378. So there only the police may come and बोलेंगे चलो हो गया बेटा चलो जेल. The police can do so. There is no problem at all. This is what the first point says, that if the police officer, if somebody has been committing or has committed any cognizable offense in the presence of the police, in the police presence, then in that situation the police may then the police may arrest him or her without any order or warrant. Not at all it is required if you are committing that particular offense in the presence of the police. But all the offenses are not committed in front of police. There are offenses which have been committed not in the presence of police. For that only we are having FIR. If I have committed, somebody has come to my house and has looted everything out, and then only I will go to the police. This offense is not being committed in front of police. This is an offense which is committed, not at all when police was present. So for that purpose only I will go to the police station and will lodge an FIR. Isn't it? For that, now read the second point. The B says, against whom a reasonable complaint has been made or credible information has been received or a reasonable suspicion exists that he has committed a cognizable offense, punishable with imprisonment for a term which may be less than 7 years or which may extend to 7 years, whether with or without fine, if the following conditions are satisfied. This is the point which I have been talking about. That cognizable case has been divided into two parts. The first where the punishment is less than 7 years, and the second where the punishment is more than 7 years. This clause B in a way defines the very same. It says against whom. I will read it again very properly. Any police officer may, without an order from a magistrate and without a warrant, arrest any person against whom a reasonable complaint has been made or credible information has been received or a reasoned suspicion exists that he has committed a cognizable offense, punishable with imprisonment for a term which may be less than 7 years or which may extend to 7 years with or without fine if the following conditions are satisfied, namely, What are those conditions? The condition is that the police officer has a reason to believe on the basis of such complaint or information or suspicion that such person has committed the said offense. The police officer is satisfied that the arrest is necessary to prevent such person from committing any further offense or proper investigation of the offense, or to prevent such person from causing the evidence of the offense to disappear or tampering with such evidence in any manner, or I mean, there are two more points which you guys can read. I will read it out. To prevent such person from making any inducement, threat, or promise to any person acquainted with the facts of the case, so as to dissuade him from the disclosing such facts to the court or to the police officer, or unless such person is arrested, his presence in the court whenever he is required cannot be ensured. Right. So it has made it very clear that okay, fine, if I am committing a cognizable offense in the front of police, the police may arrest me without any doubt then and there. Police officer, if police officer finds me committing any cognizable offense like theft, dakyati, kuch bhi, the police officer will call me and take me to the jail. Ho gaya, I mean, the time has come that you should go to your right place, right? So whom is waiting? The police officer will take me. Now, if the offense is not being committed in the presence of police officer, and the police officer has received an FIR, now the police, what the duty of the police officer is that is whatever charges which in a way has been claimed, whatever charges which in a way has been attracted against that particular person, whether that particular charge amounts to an offense which punishment is more than 7 years, which punishment is more than 7 years or less than 7 years, ये police officer देखेगा. अगर देखता है कि punishment 7 साल से कम है, तो police officer direct arrest नहीं कर सकता है. The police officer will not directly arrest. What the police officer will do? The police officer will look into the facts, will find that okay, fine, if that particular person against whom the FIR has been lodged, whether he can disappear or not. Pehla thing, whether he can change the tamper with the evidences or not, whether he can threaten the witnesses who, prospective witnesses who, which can give testimony against him or not. Now I have committed an offense, amounts to theft. Let's take for an example. मैंने कुछ काम किया जो, वो है, चोरी है. Theft under section 378, I should be punished under section 379. Punishment is 3 years and fine. Maximum punishment is 3 years and fine. It is being made highly cognizable. Now, police officer has got to know that okay, somebody has said that Rajiv has committed this particular offense named theft. Do you think you have said either Rajiv sir has stolen my duster and marker? Let's take for an example. That will also amount to theft because taking anything out of your possession is theft. So you may say that I am having a very good iPhone and sir was quitting and he once got the opportunity and mar liya. And this is what you have said. Now you have done what? You have informed this police. FIR is what? Informing the police. The first information that you are giving to the police. Do you think the police will arrest me? The fact here is that if the police gets to know that or the information has been received by the police that Rajiv has committed an offense amounts to theft, the police may not arrest me directly. The police may not arrest me directly, saying that I have known Rajiv for years. He is a civilized person. He lives in this particular colony. I know his father, his mother, his brother. They all are gentle person. So what we can do? We may not arrest him. We will issue him a notice. We may not arrest him. We will issue him a notice under section 41. We will issue him a notice under section 41A. That okay, fine, Rajiv, there is an information which has been given against you, and it has been found, and we are and there is a suspicion that you have committed an offense amounts to theft. So we are giving you this particular notice so that you could appear before the police, so that we could easily talk, right? We can talk, or the interrogation process in a way can be started, something like that. So police has to send the notice. But the question here is that if the police gets finds that Rajiv, he's a notorious person. There have been a lot of information, given to us in relation to this particular offense. And please believe that if Rajiv gets to know that we have received this particular information, he may go, he may fly, he may flee, he may run away, right? Or whatever amount of jewelry which he has stolen from his house, he may even sell it. He may disappear that particular evidence. If the police is having that particular suspicion, then the police may arrest me. Then the police may arrest me without, waiting for anything. Considering it is a cognizable case, now cognizable case has been divided into two parts: 7 years and more than 7 years. If it is less than 7 years, then the police has to verify few things. Police has to consider few things. कि राजीव क्या वो भाग तो नहीं जाएगा चोर, या एविडेंसेस को डिसअपियर तो नहीं कर देगा, या ऐसा होगा कि वो कोर्ट में आएगा ही नहीं. There are a lot of grounds which the police has to look into. There are a lot of points which the police has to look into, and after analyzing the same, if the police finds that he is a notorious person and he can go, he can run, then the police may arrest. If the police finds that he will not run, rather he will come and cooperate and coordinate with us, then in that situation police will not arrest. क्या था clear है सभी का? Is it clear till here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
चलो रुक जाओ अटेंडेंस के लिए. चलो टाटा बाय. और ये प्रोजेक्ट कंसल्टेशन किस दिन करना है आप लोग मुझे बता देना, है ना, करके ये भी खत्म करो आप लोग, ठीक है.